So I pasted up the dye. I did a tablespoon in some hot water in a separate container, and now I'm going to add it to the salt. So this is 3 gallons of water for 1 pound of fabric, 3 cups of salt, and now I'm doing a tablespoon of dye. And I'm really mixing this up before I add the fabric. Now this still has a little bit of dye in it, and I'm using this to mix it up. So I'm going to get a little more water to just kind of rinse this out more and get all of that dye out of there. And really, and this is kind of, I have a container over here holding like the wet fabric over there, and then also just all my implements so they're not getting wet or stained. They're off the side. So I can feel the salt at the bottom of this a little bit. So I'm stirring it. The water should be warm, 105 degrees. I don't have a thermometer here, but should be some warm water. If you only have cold tap water, you can't, like if you're outdoor using the hose, then go inside and boil some water. Okay, so I have this pretty well mixed up. The salt is mixed, the dye is mixed. And I'm going to take my fabric that is wet. I'm going to lay it in here. That one. This is just a washcloth. I don't like the color, so I'm throwing that in there. This is another earlier experiment that didn't really quite go the way I wanted. Some other t-shirts and so on. I photographed these so they'll be separate. You won't see them really in this video. So these are all wet, so I added water to these guys. So this one is one that I took from a black dress. It was a black dress, and then I discharged it with bleach with rubber bands. That's what those stripes are, those black stripes are, and some square paper. Okay, so now I'm going to move this stuff around. It's important that you stir pretty consistently for about 20 minutes. Double check here. Or at least every 3 or 4. Now I put a handle here so I could kind of rock this back and forth. I know it's a little bit dark, but you can see that some of the stuff is taking the dye really quickly. Let's pull up like a gray piece, and then I'll stop there and I'll come back in a few minutes. I shouldn't be touching this with my bare hands. I have a glove on my other hand, which I completely forgot about. So let's find the beige material that went in first. Oh, look how hot pink it is already. So that was a gray, and this already went pretty hot pink, which is kind of what I'm looking for. In this is fuchsia, and I'll show you the dye container. That was this one, fuchsia, Procyon, and this is a fiber reactive dye for, it says batik dyeing, and what we're doing is called tub dyeing. All right.